Hello, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you'd like to know the names of all the plants, I've created a little PDF download and it's just down in the comments below. You can click through and get the names of all the plants. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Hello, well welcome to my top 10 shrubs for cutting in early spring. And to start off, I'm here in front of this beautiful hazel tree covered in catkins, and really you could say that it's a late winter tree or shrub because these catkins start coming out in January, but I think because of the creamy yellow colour they're the perfect partner for early spring bulbs. So I'm just going to pivot round and have a look a little bit closer there, and so we can see them a bit closer up. I mean, absolutely masses and masses of these on this tree, and yeah, just this lovely creamy yellow colour which looks absolutely beautiful with snowdrops, primroses, daffodils. All the early spring colours look really beautiful with these catkins. So really a favourite. They really reliable every year, and it's a good tree for coppicing. So it's great. You can cut it back hard and it will grow up from the base. So it's a really good plant to have in the garden, really, and also it's very high value for nature conservation. It's a native tree, and yeah, if you keep it as a coppice, it's very good for nature conservation. And just to say, there is a purple form as well, which has nice purple leaves and purple catkins as well. That's Corylus purpurea. And also another one I've got in the garden actually at home is the contorted form, which is called Red Majestic, and it has lovely twisted contorted stems and again these sort of pinkish red catkins. So really that's one of my absolute favourite plants for early spring, late winter, is the common hazel. And so just as an aside, I've just seen this beautiful common dead nettle growing just near the hazel, and I don't really like to pick it because it's a wild flower, but some beautiful sort of creamy white flowers, they would look really lovely with the hazel catkins. So it just goes to show, I think, like in nature, the way all the colours just seem to go together perfectly. So lovely there, some common dead nettle just by the side. Oh, well, so next up is Viburnum tinus, and I don't know if you can see this one here, smothered in white blooms, and really what I wanted you to see is it's growing under some conifers, so it's a really easy thing to grow and in quite a difficult position here, so growing underneath trees. And so evergreen plant with blooming in early spring, and it grows in the shade. I mean, what more could you ask for? So Viburnum tinus, a really easy plant to grow, masses of flowers, and you can stack it underneath other trees, so it doesn't really take up much room. So it's a really great plant to grow. So next up we've got camellia buds, and these are a really useful filler for early spring bouquets, and the buds stand for quite a long time in early spring, and these are just starting to go over now. They're no use once the flowers open. Then they're not really usable because the flowers fall off, but when the buds are on there just starting to show a little bit of colour, they're really useful. So I'm just going to flip round and show you the plants. There are two different kinds to look for. So this one here, I mean, it's really got so many buds on. I don't really like the colour. There's another reason why I picked the buds, is I think the colour's a little bit too bright for to go with yellow and early spring colours, but the buds just showing a little bit of pink are lovely. So it loads on this one, and this is an upright form, and you get nice straight stems on it to put in, it's ideal to go into bouquets. Nice long straight stems. And the one next to it, this is a bushy form. It has a sort of drooping habit, not so many buds on it, but it's still very usable. But this would be more for going like in vases and bowls where you want a sort of more of a drooping effect. But I generally use the upright one. Is much more useful. But some lovely straight stems there for picking. So it's a really useful thing for early spring. Well, I've just found some lovely forsythia here, and you know, really lovely big bush there. And just to show that the way here that it's been well, it hasn't been clipped. Lovely long straight stems at the back there. Lovely for cutting. So really easy shrub to grow, and giving a good show of colour up off the ground in mid-March. Yeah. So behind me there, a magnificent flowering cherry, middle of March, covered in blooms. And just looking at that, you know, thinking about British cut flowers and, you know, how do you get flowers in the post and stuff. And, you know, there's a whole tree there absolutely covered in beautiful blossoms there, just waiting to be picked. Beautiful flowering cherry. So I've just come in a bit closer here, and look, there's just buckets and buckets of blooms you could have from this tree. Absolutely, you know, you could completely fill the house with blooms and still leave a whole load on the tree. Really prolific, growing in the ground, doesn't require any work at all, just looks after itself. Beautiful spring flowers. So just above me here, I've got another viburnum, one that I find a bit difficult to pronounce the name of. I think it's called Viburnum bodnantes, I think it is, and has these lovely pink blooms in really late winter, early spring on bare stems. Really easy to grow as a hedging plant, and produces all these flowers. But again, how you prune the plant is quite important. This one's sort of been trimmed. There's not very nice cutting material here, so you do need to prune it for nice long stems. Yeah, really easy to grow, and yeah, lovely, pretty pink flowers. Very early on in the season. And so here's another one just next to it, and you can see the way this has been pruned. It's got these lovely tall stems on it. So yeah, so not to trim it with hedge clippers, but you get some lovely long straight stems to cut and to bring indoors with that one. Yeah, it's just been cut a little bit differently. Lovely pink flowers. So behind me I've got a pussy willow there. This is a weeping form, which I wouldn't recommend. It's okay for picking. You can turn the stems upside down, put them in water, and they work fine. But it takes up quite a lot of room in the garden. And I apologise for the traffic noise. Um, but yeah, if you grow the upright form, you can plant it in your hedge. It stays nice and compact. You can cut it down to the ground, and it won't get too big. But the catkins are the same. These have started to go over now. They're the fluffy yellow stage, which I think looks really nice with spring flowers as well. But earlier on, the more familiar sort of silky catkins there. So that's pussy willow. Very easy to grow, fast growing as well, and it's attractive to bees in early spring. So this is my little almond tree here. It's starting to go over now. It's been in bloom since February, so it comes out nice and early. And the reason I planted this is because it's attractive to bees. So it's good for pollinators, giving you know, some early nectar. And I've cut this to I've taken the top out of it, so that you see it's sort of the branches fanning out to make a nice bushy plant, but it seems to be growing quite quickly, and the plants are fully hardy, but the blooms aren't. So I've put it in a sheltered spot here so that the blossoms don't get frosted, but the plants themselves are perfectly hardy, and hopefully I'll get some almonds as well from this. They're quite big blooms actually compared to the cherries. They are quite large blooms, I've noticed, so it does feel like it's a little bit more exotic, a little bit more special than the cherry blossom. Yeah, so that's sweet almond there. So behind me I've got a blackthorn, absolutely covered in white blossom, really beautiful, and the thing about it is it's full of bees. You just really notice there's loads and loads of bees on there. So really beautiful early spring blossom there. I think this is a blackthorn. I can't get quite close enough to see it, but lots of white blossom on bare twigs. Really beautiful. So I've just walked around the corner. I've found another blackthorn. Really, look, masses and masses of flowers here. Masses, really beautiful. But you don't have to grow it as a tree. It will grow in your hedge, and you'll still get the beautiful blossoms. So it doesn't take up much room. But really lovely blossom, and you know, going perfectly with narcissus and daffodils at this time of year. Really masses and masses of blooms there. Really, blackthorn, yeah. Oh well, here's my favourite early spring shrub for cutting. I don't know if you can just see it there in the background. There's a mimosa there, about 8-9 foot tall, completely covered in fragrant yellow blossom. I can't go a bit closer because somebody else's house. But I'm in Kent here. We've just had a quite a cold spring with snow and what have you, and it seems to have got through. And so this starts flowering in February, and very attractive for bees as well. A really beautiful sort of exotic plant. Only we used to know about it growing in the south of France, and to have it now is it's still something sort of very special. I think in early spring to have some lovely fragrant mimosa. So there it is, just showing that it grows certainly in the south. Anyway, it grows outside perfectly well. A really beautiful tree. Grows very quickly as well, and yeah. So and tolerates dry weather in the summer as well, drought tolerant plant. So really lovely thing to have. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and you can get details of all the plants in my PDF download, which you'll find below in the comments. Thank you.